नमामि शंकराचार्य गुरुपाद सरोरुहं यस्य प्रसादान् मूढोऽपि सर्वज्ञोऽहं सदा भवन् कामाक्षी करुणारूपं कामकोटि जगद्गुरुं चिन्मूर्तिं कलये चित्ते शंकराचार्यमप्रियं वेद वेदांत साम्राज्य धर्म कामार्थ मोक्षं विद्यारण्यं नमः पुण्यं यो विद्यारण्यमध्यमिति सदाशिव श्री ब्रह्मेन्द्र धृतस्वपद पादुका धीरान् परशुवेन्द्रार्यान् ध्यायामि सततं हृदि पार करुणा सिंधु ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्री चंद्रशेखर गुरुं भगवान् विद्वान् देवे देहे च देशे च भक्त्यारोक्ति सुखप्रदं बुध पामर सेव्यं श्री जयेन्द्रं नमाम्यहं नमामि शंकरान्वाख्य जयेन्द्र सरस्वती श्री गुरुं शिष्टमार्गानुनेतारं सर्वप्रदं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शंकराचार्य विद्वान् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. This is the year in which the 2500th Aradhana of Shri Shankara Bhagavatpāda was conducted, and in the earlier Ashadha Shukla Ekadashi Budhanuradha Punyakala, our Shri Kanchi Kamakoti Mulamnaya Sarvabhya Pīఠāධිපති Jagadguru Shri Shankara Vijayam Saraswati Shankaracharya Swami completed his Prayagraj Varanasi Rameshwara Tirtha Yatra by himself performing Abhisheka to Ramanatha Swami at Rameshwaram, and starting on this auspicious occasion, the prarthana of doing the Anusandhana of the original Shankara Vijaya Granthas, we have started this prayatna of doing it in the form of online Upanyasas. And earlier during the occasion of the Aradhana in Vaishakha Masa, we have examined the texts of Shivarahasya and Markandeya Samhita, the parts which are pertaining to Shri Shankara Charitra. And later on we have started the Anandagiriya Shankara Vijayam, which was composed by one Anandagiri, who identifies himself as a direct disciple of Shri Shankara Bhagavatpāda. And he has presented this in chapters by the name of Prakaranas. So this is has a lot of Shastriya content. Shastriya in the sense, the matter, the content itself is from the Vedanta Shastra or from quoting from various other Shastras. Along with the Charitra, this one Shankara Vijaya gives a lot of Shastra Vichara. So we will be examining the Shastra Vichara as much as is possible. And in the earlier volumes, this is the fifth session that we are examining this text. In the earlier text volumes, we have seen up to the story where Srimad Shankara Bhagavatpāda, in his Brahmacharya Ashrama itself, he is doing service to his Mata Aryamba, and with the permission of his Vidya Guru, he is at that time itself, in the childhood itself, he is teaching Advaita Vedanta to many people. So it is also mentioned in the Shivarahasya, and so we have this corroboration between these various Shankara Charitra Granthas, Pramana Granthas. And the previous session we saw the description of what was the beauty of Acharya teaching, how was his scholarship. But right now in this section we examine the actual content of the Upadesha of the Acharya. So here it says it is actually of the form of a question from the Shishya to Bhagavatpāda, and how Bhagavatpāda replies with Shruti Pramanas. So the text goes, Bho Shishya Tvameva Brahma. So it starts out with the absolute Upadesha. Tvameva Brahma. You are that Brahman. We can easily understand that this is the Mahavakya. But how come? Chaitanyasya Ekarupa. So, to examine or understand the meaning of that sentence, we have to understand what is the meaning of Tvam and what is the meaning of Brahma. So, Tvam refers when the Acharya is speaking to the Shishya, whoever the Shishya thinks that he is. The Acharya says, you, whatever you think that you are actually Brahman. And what is Brahman? Okay, let us examine. Chaitanyasya Ekarupatvat. Normally it is taken to understand that whatever the Supreme Being, what we may say that the Supreme Being is the same as Parameshwara, but you and that Parameshwara are one and the same, but in what way? The answer is Chaitanyasya Ekarupatvat. The consciousness of the Jiva, that you refers obviously to the person who is within the body of the Shishya and who is listening to the Upadesha of the Guru, that is normally understood to be the Jiva. Let us examine it. The Jiva and the Ishvara, the consciousness aspect are the same, is one and the same. So that is the reason that is given for substantiating the initial statement Tvameva Brahma. Tattad avidya kalpiteshu dehendriyadishu avidyamaneshu chaitanyameva tvam bhavasi. So whatever you think that you have a physical body, sthula sharira, and you have lots of chakshuradi, jnanendriyas and karmendriyas, but all these are avidya kalpita. These are illusory. They are created only as an appearance. So whether you think that these exist in Jagrata Avastha or even Swapna Avastha or in the deep sleep, you don't see these avidyamaneshu bhi, but you are still in the form of consciousness. You are experiencing all these things as a sakshi. So you are Chaitanya Meva Tvam Bhavasi. That Chaitanya, that is non-changing, that continues. But the Shishya is not able to accept this and he objects. Objection is not out of disrespect. With all due respect, even that phrase has become very common nowadays, whether that respect exists or not. But here, the Shishya completely has respect for the Guru, but it is expected that he should understand the Upadesha, not just shake his head and accept it. Only after understanding, especially here, if you say that Parameshwara has Sadyodhyatadi Panchamukha and Brahma has 4 heads, it is not possible to examine whether by any other pramana whether that is true or not. It is not possible for ourselves to go and examine. So we accept that that is as it is said in the Shastras. But here, it is you are talking about me, and I should know myself, and only I am supposed to know who I am. It's a normal, whether not for moksha, even for nitya vyavahara, I think that I know who I am. But whether I truly know or not is the question here. So the Shishya examines this statement of the Guru and he finds that he is not able to accept it. So he asks, Katham Guru, Sukha Dukkha Bhajo Bhe Chaitanyata. How can you say that I am just Chaitanya? Pure consciousness. It will not have any Sukha Dukkha's, no pleasures, no sorrows. To be of the Ananda Swarupa. Ananda is different from pleasure. Bliss is different from pleasure. So it is Ananda Swarupa, but all these Sukha Dukkha's which I am experiencing, this doesn't seem to indicate that I am that of the nature of just purely Chaitanya. Janmantara karma vasat janim praptasya. I have taken this birth because of my previous karmas in my previous births. Jalam utpudavata ashashvata dehasya. My physical body is just like the bubble on water. It is impermanent. Indriyadivir upetasya. I have all these chakshurindriyas and chakshuradi jnanendriyas and the karmendriyas like the hand. Janma sthiti marana pravahashilasya. So with all these indriyas, I am experiencing various things. And with this physical body, I am born. I am living for a particular period of time, and then this physical body falls away. This keeps happening. Arishadvarga peditasya. And I am being continuously tormented by the 6 enemies: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Pada, Matsarya. Dharat, Yeshanatraya, Grahagrastasya. I am being captured by the 3 desires. The desire to marry and have children, family, and the desire to earn money, and the desire to earn fame. All these things are continuously tormenting me. Then how can you say that nahi chitya nitya chidananda rupatvam kalpayitam uchitam? How can you say that I am that shashvata chidananda swarupa? All these things are continuously tormenting me. Okay, then it is possible that the Guru says, do you mean by the word tvam I'm not talking about your physical body. I'm not talking about your indriyas. I'm not even talking about your manas. I am talking about the you who are the jiva. You say mama manaha, my mind. Then the word my refers to somebody else other than the mind. Only then you can say my mind. So whoever that is. So the word here is actually bad antarvartino jivasya. Actually, aham jivaha ityeva sarvapi manyate. People think that they are whatever the form of consciousness which is experiencing all these things. That is what is known as jiva. And but the commonly it is referred to the jiva that is inside. The jiva that is inside me is a colloquial usage, in the sense that inside me means what? The word means me refers to the physical body, no? My body, my indriyas, my mind. But my jiva is not really appropriate. What you are, that is the jiva in the Vyavahara Dasha. Then do you mean to say that that jiva is Brahman? But not even that is possible. Tasyapi kinchit na kinchit tasyapi kinchit detvadi dharmasharena. This jiva, he knows only a particular number of things. He does not know everything. He is not sarvatma. He has one limited power only. He does not have unlimited power. Then how can you say that I am the same as Parmeshwara? So whether he is the same as Parmeshwara or not, whether he is the assertion is only that he is the same as Brahman. There is a small technical difference there. Because the Shuddha Chaitanya is appearing in the form of Parameshwara, it is also appearing in the form of Jiva, and here it is saying that the Jiva is the same as Brahman, not that the Jiva has the power of creating and dissolving the world or anything like that. So, but even that he is not able to accept, that he is the Shuddha Chaitanya Brahmaswarupa. Ichha moha adi piditattvacha. It is not only that all these kamakrodhadi doshas, they are arising in my mind and going away. It is not only that, but they are actually bothering me. I am suffering as the result of all these things. So it is not possible for me to accept that I am the Chidananda Swarupa, Chaitanya Ananda Swarupa. And further, all the Bhedavadis, the Darshanikas, other than Advaita Vedanta, what do they say? Bheda means the difference between Jiva, Ishvara, Shuddha Chaitanya, and the world and all these things. Bhedavadinastavat, Agno Jivaha, Subhashubha Bhokta, Maya Gola Gutha, Parameshwarat, Bhinna Rupaha. They say this. Iti Vadanti. The word comes later on. So what do they say? The Jiva is an Agya. He has ignorance. He knows only some things. Subhashubha Bhokta. He experiences the fruit of Punya and Papa. Maya Gola Gudha. The word Gola, the sphere, is within the sphere of influence of Maya. Parameshwara, Bhinna Rupaha. He appears, is very evidently different from Parameshwara. Tasya Paripakwa Jnanenapi Sayujya Abhava. Then what about the statement in the Shrutis and so on that Jnana Devatu Kaivalyam Jnanat Mokshaha? So what is that Jnana? What will you gain by that Jnana? The Bhedavadis say that even if you attain that Jnana, you will not become one with Parameshwara. You will not attain Sayujyam. At the best, you can attain Salokyam. You can go to his loka. You can be in Samipyam, nearby him, whatever the Upasya Devata that you worship. And you can take the Sarupyam. You can achieve a form that is similar to that Upasya Devata, but you cannot become one with that Upasya Devata. Kintu Sukrita Karmana Punyaloka Prapti Kapujadi Karmana Narakaloka Prapti. But if you are not having even that Paripakwa Jnana and you are not going to that loka, you will be rotating within the lesser lokas only. And if you do good things, punyas, then you will get good lokas. You will experience various pleasures. And if you do papa, then you will experience naraka. And that is what Shastra says. Tasmat srishtau pralayepi bhinna eva jivaha prati shariram vichitra karmani karoti. So whether it is after srishti, in this whatever state that we are in right now, or after pralaya, even in that state, the jiva has to be different from Paramatma. How? Because if somebody, let us say that a particular person does some punya on the day prior to pralaya, but the punya karma has not yet given fruit. But before that, pralaya happens. Then it will become such that the punya karma has gone for waste. And supposing somebody does some great papa or small papa, on the day before pralaya, or on the day of pralaya before pralaya, it doesn't matter. And yes, the point is the punya papas whose fruits have not been experienced by the time of pralaya, then it will mean that the papa he has not suffered for that papa, and this is not acceptable, right? So we have to say that even in the state of after pralaya, the jiva is separate, and he will come out even though the pralaya is everything is shut down, and he will come out after the pralaya during the next srishti. The jiva will come out and he will definitely experience the fruits of all the punya papas that he has done. Then, what is the meaning of moksha? Moksho nama sukha rupa sthana prapti matrameva projyate. It is only a place, attaining a place in which you are completely having pleasure. In Vaikuntha, there is no dukkha, or in Kailasa, there is no dukkha. And that is the nature of moksha. It is not as if he entirely merges with the Paramatma. That is not moksha. This is what the Vedavadis say. Tadrishe Mayi, and that is according with my experience, personal experience. So I am able to accept what they say, that I am not a Sarvajna, I am not the same with Parameshwara. So how can you say that Tadrishe Mayi, Satya Jnana Ananda Lakshana Lakshita Shuddha Chaitanyatva Kalpana Kathamuchita Asya? How can you say that I am the Shuddha Chaitanya of this Satya Jnana Ananda Lakshana of the form of Satya Jnana and Ananda? Ityalapinam Shishyam Pratyaha Bhagavan Acharya. So the Shishya is very much confused, but he is not satisfied. Even though he is not satisfied with that Veda Bha, because it does not give him any consolation. We know that we are of the nature of Kinchit Jnana and Kinchit Shakta and all these things, but what is the use? Whether I will go to that Loka, that Parameshwara Loka or Vishnu Loka or whatever it is, even if I go there, in the Puranas there are stories by which the people who are there in that Loka, they are also getting some shapa and they are coming back to Bhuloka. So then there is no assurance, real assurance there. So the Shishya is not satisfied, but that is what is in accordance with his experience. And they are also, the Vedavadis are also showing many Shruti, Smrityadi Pramanas to support their Paksha. So he is very much dissatisfied and he is experiencing his anguish that he is not getting any satisfaction. So, Pratyaha Bhagavan Acharya, in this stage, Bhagavan Bhagavatpāda gives the clear Upadesha to the Shishya based on the clear understanding of the Shruti Smriti and other Pramanas. So he says, you examine the Shrutis, they are quoting some Shrutis in support of their view, okay, but you also examine the original Shrutis, complete Shrutis, what do they say? For example, in the Aitareya Upanishad, the forthcoming passage is based on the Aitareya Upanishad. The Aitareya Upanishad gives the description where Bhagavan created the world. He creates the Chaturdasha Bhuvanas, the Ataladi Lokas below, Atala Vitala Sutala Patala and so on. And the Satyaloka, up to Satyaloka, the above worlds. Chaturdasha Loka Rupa Virad Dehe. So this Virad Deha, this Samashti Deha, the complete physical existence, whatever it is. In fact, the word physical here, by modern standards, we may not say that Atala Vitala Patala we have not found by digging into the earth any sign and all our equipment. There is no sign of all the Patala, the Lokas below the crust of the earth. And if we go up there, we see lots and lots of galaxies. We don't detect any Satyaloka and all the other, even the Maharloka or the Janaloka and so on. So those lokas, as per the Shastra, they have physical existence, but that physical existence is so subtle that it is beyond the realm of modern science. So it may not be Sthola, Samashti Sthola Sharira as per modern science, but as per the Purana, the Shastras, this Virat Deha is there, physical, all these Chaturdasha Lokas are there, but they are also physical existence as per the Puranas. So, and the Purana is just the extension or the explanation of the Shruti Smritis. That is why we say Shruti Smriti Purana Nam Alaya. So, all these Pramanas have to be, the Samanvaya has to be done, we have the reconciliation of whatever may seem as superficially conflicting, it has to happen, and then based on that, the meaning of the Shrutis has to be concluded. So, Ajnani Devan Sampagya. So, what does this Shruti say? Bhagavan created all these worlds and he also created the Ajnani Devatas to administer the various functions of this world. And then he tells the Ajnani Devatas, you go and enter this Virat Deha. The Virat Deha has, it also has eyes in the form of Chandra Surya. It also has a mouth and all these physical organs. It has in a different way. It is there in the Virat Deha also. So it tells the Devatas, you go and enter. He is giving the appointment order. But if you give the appointment order, you have to tell them what is their remuneration. So you have to at least take care of their food. But how is it possible? This Virat Deha is the entire physical existence is the Virat Deha. Then what can it eat other than it? This physical body, if it is going to eat something, then it can eat something only that which is outside it, and that food will go inside and become part of this physical body. But in the case of Virat, Virat is everything that is physically existing. Then how can there be anything other than that which it will take as food? So he thinks this is not possible, I have to do something else. So then it is said that Bhagavan created various bodies one by one. So here, first of all, it is said that he created the body of a cow. So immediately we should not start objecting whether it is the Siddhanta that as per the Shruti, the very first body that was created was the body of a cow. That is not the Tattvarya Vishaya. In this particular Upanishad, for the purpose of illustrating something, illustrating a point, the point being that Bhagavan created the entire world and he himself entered this world. That is what is going to be illustrated. So, for example, it is taken that he created the body of a cow. And the various Brahma Sutras and Vedanta Vicharas are very clear in this particular point. These prakriyas, these procedures which are described are only for the purpose of understanding. So, first, here, as per this Upanishad, he created the body of a cow. And he showed the body of the cow to all these Ajnani Devatas. He tells them, you can enter the body of the cow, just like you are there present in the Samashti, Virat Deha. These are Vyashtis, the smaller parts. That is the whole, these are parts. So you can enter these bodies, and the body of a cow, it can obviously eat the grass or anything else. So it is possible for the Ajnani Devatas to get food via the body of a cow. But it is said that the Ajnani Devatas looked at this creation and they said, well, this is good, but it's not entirely satisfying. For some reason. So you go, you search for a house and you say, no, it's not satisfying. Nobody asks you, you may or may not be able to point out what is exactly wrong with it. You are not satisfied. So then Bhagavan probably thought, okay, let me create something with some more vitality. So he created the body of a horse and he showed it to the Devatas. And the Devatas once again examined it. Oh, yes, okay, this also has its own good qualities, but still this is not satisfying. So even though here it is said like this in the Bhagavata Purana, as mentioned earlier, the Puranas are they expand upon the concepts given in the Vedas. It is said there is a shloka which is describing the exact same context. Srishtva Purani Vividhani अजया आत्मशक्त्या वृक्षान् सरीसृपगणान् खगदंशमत्स्यान् तैस्तैः अतुष्टहृदयः. So Brahma, there it is said, presented in this way, Brahma created various bodies. He created plants, trees. He created reptiles. He created birds. He created other small insects and other. He created aquatic animals. Taistaihi atushta hridayaha. He was not satisfied. So that is obviously it's an expansion upon what is given here. Then what happened? So then Bhagavan created the human body and it presented in front of the Devatas, and immediately they were so happy. Sukritam Bhata, excellent work, they immediately said. So the human body is the culmination of the Sharira Srishti. So there similarly the Bhagavata, Purusham Vidhaya Udamapa Deva. So once he created the body of a human, Brahma was very happy. Here also, the Devatas were happy. That the reason for the Purusha here just means human. The human body being satisfactory will be explained presently here as per the Upanishad. And so here, the reason being that Brahmavaloka Dhashana. It's only by entering the human body that the Chaitanya will be able, the Jiva, even though he becomes a Jiva, later he will be able to examine his state and come back to the original state of moksha. That's an entirely correct word, but when you say moksha, it appears as if you have bandha right now, but it is actually your original state without the bandha that you are returning to. So moksha is the throwing away of the bandha, but it is only returning to what your Shuddha Chaitanya Swarupa that you actually are. So here, the same Aitareya Shruti nearby also gives a very clear description. It says that it is only in the human body that the prakasha of Atma Swarupa is at its best. It is only the human being who is able to not only perceive what is in front of him, but he is also able to remember and analyze what happened before, what is going to happen tomorrow, and what is present in this world, what is present beyond this world. And he is able to visualize what his actual situation is with respect to the entire world and how he can go beyond this world. So, this is why the human body is considered to be the culmination of the Sharira. But okay, fine, the body has been created, but even then, for what will the body go ahead and act? For what will the cow body go and eat grass? Or for what will the human body do anything? So even nowadays they say that there are self-driving cars. The self-driving car doesn't mean that once you purchase such a car, then it will automatically drive itself to the market and purchase everything for you and come. It only means that it will examine all that left, right, and traffic and all these mundane things. It will examine and it will help you go from one place to another. But nevertheless, a human has to go and sit in that car and turn on the ignition and do some basic steering. Otherwise, how does the car know whether you want to go to the market or you want to go to some other to the temple or some other place? So, whatever body is being created, it is a sadhana. It is an instrument. But only if some Chaitanya goes and enters into that body, then the body will function. So, Ishvara, after his creation was accepted by the Devatas, so he thinks Manav Pravritti Anukula Akila Indriya Pravritti Tasya Preraka Bhave Karya Asamarthyam Syad. All these Indriyas and the Manas, unless and otherwise somebody impels these to do something, they will not work. Samanaskasya Indriya Ganasya Jadatvad. That is because all these are Jada. They don't have consciousness of their own. Jada Prerakena Ajadayana Iva Bhavitavyam. Somebody who is not Jada, who is conscious, they have to impel that jada. Ajadasya chaitanyatva, dhananyasya jadatva. So Chaitanya is not jada, and all these physical things, they are jada. So Parameshwara decides that he has to enter into the body, and this is the important part here. Yadidam dehendriya tadabhimani devatavat charira jatam asti. This physical body, the indriyas which are in it, and all the devatas which are also present within this human body. There are various devatas who are giving anugraha for the various parts of the body to function. But all these tadidam sarvam madrite bhoga swaminam jivarupranam vina kathannu namasya. So if I do not enter this body to experience all these things, then all this will be for waste. It will not function. So tasmad bhoga swaminamaya jivarupa dharina dehe praveshtavyam. So Bhagavan decides that he has to enter this body in the form of a jiva to experience all the sukha-dukkha bhogas, otherwise this will be for waste. But then the question arises, why should Bhagavan create the human body and enter the body and experience all these sukha-dukkhas? So the question is very valid. But the answer is that if at all we are not seeing this prapancha, if we are in the state of sarvam brahmamayam, we are only in the paramartha sthiti, then this entire prapancha does not exist in this form. Only the Parabrahman, the Satya Jnana Ananda Swarupa exists. But we are talking about the state in which all these things are already existing. This samsara, this sukha dukkha anubhavas are already existing. So then it has already happened. So we cannot say, how can this happen? How can we cannot say that, how can you be suffering all these things? It is not possible for you to be suffering. I am suffering, that I know. How can you say that I cannot be hungry or I cannot be sad or anything? I'm already experienced on all these things. So with accepting what is already being experienced, then you have to think, how is it possible? So we have to decide that the Parameshwara somehow, there is only one Chaitanya Swarupa, and that is what the Shruti also says. We may doubt whether our understanding is correct or not, but this is what the Shruti says. The Shruti says that Parameshwara has entered this body and is experiencing all these things. So if at all he has entered, okay, let me tell me what is the prayojana, a meaningful prayojana for this entering the body. Not just to experience all the sukha dukkha's. That is all very tiresome. So give me a meaningful prayojana, and even Bhagavatpāda says in the Prashnottara Ratnamalika, samsare kim saram bahushopi vichinjamanam idamevo. So the only what is meaningful in the samsara, inquiring as to what is meaningful in the samsara is that which is meaningful in the samsara. The intent being that once you start examining this, then it will make you realize that in all these sukha dukkha chakras again and again rotating within the sukha dukkha's is not meaningful. So you have to attain your nitya chidananda sthiti. So atma bodha swarupasya prayojanantarasya vidyamanatva. That is the prayojana of entering this world. How can that be the prayojana of entering this world? Then the answer will later on be that you have to do your karma, you have to experience your karmas, and only then you will be able to attain jnana and you can go back to your actual ananda swarupa. Pravishtasya dehendriyadi prerakasya dehendriya atitasya. So the person who has entered for the purpose of impelling all the deha and indriyas and all, he is beyond the dehas and indriyas. Pravesha matrenaiva, by the very act of entering the body, maya anugraha vashat. So you enter a place that is surrounded with darkness, then you will also be affected by the darkness. What has happened is that Paramatma has thrown a dark blanket over himself, and then, I am not able to see anything around me, he is suffering. Maya anugraha vashat. Whether Maya anugraha is an appropriate word or not, we may consider it separately. But the anugraha, the effect of the Maya is to make the Parameshwara as take up the form of a jiva. So he has become the same Parameshwara, has become the jiva, Satyajnana Ananda Lakshana Lakshitasya Paramatmanaha Samyagjnana. So how to rid oneself of this Maya, how to throw away the blanket, you have to attain the Samyak Jnana of the Paramatma, which is of the Jnana, which is your own nature actually. You have to just throw away the blanket. You are already that person. But you are suffering because you are unnecessarily surrounding yourself by the blanket. So then that blanket you have to throw away. Then you will get by the Samyak Jnana, then you will become one with that Paramatma. Abhedadhyavasayena Shuddha Vritti Siddhya. You will get that what is called in Shastra as the Akhandakara Vritti, which reveals to you the entire existence as Sarvam Brahmamaya. And so you will realize that you are none other than that. Paramatmani manolaye jhate, then your mind will entirely be dissolved in the Paramatma. And that is the path to attain the moksha. There is no other way. But when you accept that in this samsara dasha, the Paramatma has actually taken up the form of Jiva, then the question arises as to how you said that he entered, how did he enter? So now we are talking in the Vyavahara Dasha. So this body in various Puranas, it has been likened to a fortress which has many openings, entrances. So likewise, this physical body also has many entrances, many openings. But even now we say that there are 7 openings in the head, the Jnanendriyas, the 2 eyes, the 2 ears, the 2 nostrils and the mouth. And there are 2 openings in the lower part of the body that we know. So, but here the place, the opening through which the Paramatma is said to have entered in the form of Jiva is something different, and that is what is said by the Upanishad. The Paramatma considers which entrance shall I use for coming into the body. So it is likened to a king entering into his fortress, and the king will be entering with lots of ceremony and pomp and gaiety and all the vadyas and so on. But the mantris who have been, even though they are coming with the king, they have to go ahead and they have to get the sabha ready for the arrival of the king and so on. So they will not be spending time in all this swagata prakriya, all this welcoming and all that. So they will immediately go through some other entrance and they will go ahead fast to take care of what needs to be done. So it is said that there are 2 openings apart from all these physical openings which are mentioned earlier. The 2 openings are the Brahmarandhra, the top of the head, and the Padangara. It is said that the tip of the toe, the great toe, it is not explicitly mentioned which great toe, but it is normally taken to be the right great toe, and the Brahmarandhra. The right great toe, obviously, there is absolutely no physical opening there, but at least in the case of the Brahmarandhra, we know that in the child which is born, we can find that that place is soft. That is because the various parts of the skull have not fused together, and later on, over age, they fuse together. So right now, we cannot find any depression there. But even now, if we apply any oil, we will be able to experience the coolness which is created by the oil. That is something which is practically, empirically understandable, experiencing. So that we can say that if there is no dwara at all, then how is it possible for that taila, the oil which is being applied there, to create some sensation within the head? But we do experience. So it means that there is some sukshma opening, even though it has been the opening has been closed. There is some still very small path. It is definitely there. So the Raja, but in the case of the Jiva, of course, it enters in within the Garbha itself. But it is said that he enters via the Brahmarandhra. So because he is Brahma Swarupa and he has entered via this Randhra, this opening, it is called the Brahmarandhra. That Brahman has taken up the form of the Jiva and entered. And then who is the Mantri who is entering via the foot? It is said that the Mantri is the Prana Shakti, which is taking care of all the physical actions of the body. So it is also described that Yasmat Jnanopadhikasya Murdhamadhye Praveshaha, because the Jnana Shakti, the Chaitanya, has entered via the top of the head. Tasmat Murdhri Jnanendriya Bahulyam Sambhavyate. All the majority of the Jnanendriyas, which are the senses, are present in the head. क्रियाशक्त्युपाधिकस्य पादाग्रे प्रवेशात् कंठाद् अधोभागे कर्मेन्द्रिय बाहुल्यं संभवति. So we know, we normally consider the body as above the neck and below the neck. So the part of the body below the neck is the hands, the feet, and all these are karmendriyas. That is the major content of the lower part of the body. And etat vishaya prapanchastu, it's an interesting usage here by Anandagiriya Acharya. Etat vishaya prapanchastu bhudha madiyeshu bhashyadi grantheshu darsaniyaha. Anandagiriya Acharya writes as if Bhagavatpāda himself tells the Shishya, you can get more detail by examining my Bhashya Granthas. But of course, from various other Shankara Vijayam Granthas, we know that Bhagavatpāda later on, after going to Govinda, he has not yet taken sannyasa. He takes sannyasa from Govinda Bhagavatpāda, and later on, by the Ajna of Govinda Bhagavatpāda, he goes to Varanasi, and then he gets the Anugya of Bhagavan Vishweshwara, and only after that he composes the Bhashyas. But here, just the author Anandagiriya Acharya means to say that whoever wants to know more can examine the Bhashya Granthas, because this Shankara Vijayam was obviously composed after the Avatara Kala of Bhagavatpāda. So that is what is meant. And by this Upadesha, Ityuktaha Shishyaha Srimad Gurupada Natva Swaswarupam Viditva Sukhamasa. So it is understood that the Shishya is a Paripakva, he has the Pakvata. So by this very Upadesha, he is able to entirely imbibe the Upadesha of the Guru, and he is able to realize. Not immediate, not everybody can do this just by listening to Vedanta Upanyasas, but this particular Shishya, by his Purva Paripakvata, he is able to attain that. Sukhamasa, he attained bliss. Evam aneka shishyaha Shri Guru Upadesha Mahimna Sarva Vidya Sampanna Babhuvo. Likewise, lots of Shishyas by the Upadesha of Guru attained Sarva Vidya. What is Sarva Vidya? The word Sarva Vidya can mean two different things. Sarva Vidya Sampanna, you can take to, by the Anugraha of the Guru, he attained knowledge in all the subjects. But here, knowledge in the subject is not what is important. Though it is not the main content of the Upadesha of the Guru. That which is Sarva, said in the Upanishad, Eka Vijnanena Sarva Vijnanam, by knowing that one thing by which you can know everything. Because that one thing is everything itself, Sarvam Brahmamayam. So by knowing that one Brahman, you know everything, because everything is nothing other than Brahman. So that Sarva Vidya, Sarvasya Vidya, Sarva Vidya, the Vidya of that which is Sarvam, is what is mainly intended here. And Anandagiriya Acharya goes on to say that Shatai Sahasrais Tatshishyehi Lakshai Kotibhirevada Yaptamasi Jagadinam Shuddhadvaita Parayanihi. The greatness of my Acharya is such that by the Upadesha of the Guru, the Sat Shishyas, the Yogyata, Paripakvata, Sampanna Shishyas, hundreds and thousands of Shishyas, and through them, even lakhs and crores of Shishyas, in his enthusiasm, in his duty and devotion to his Guru, he says, this entire world was filled with such people who are following Shuddha Advaita by the Upadesha of my Guru, Shri Shankara Bhagavatpāda. And he says, Shruti Smriti Itihasadi Chodita Achara Tatparehi, and whoever is not able to immediately grasp that Paratattva, they will follow the Shruti Smriti Itihasa, all the injunctions which are given, all the acharas and anushtanas which are given in all these Shrutyadi Pramanas. Panchayagya Parair Nityam, the Deva Yagya, Pitri Yagya, Bhuta Yagya, Manusya Yagya, Brahma Yagya, all these which are prescribed, they should follow that. Pancha Puja Visharadehi, they should worship Bhagavan in the Saguna Rupas, especially in the five forms. Advaita Matanivishtahi, Panchayatanarchanam Prakartavyam is what is said in the Markandeya Samhita. What are the Panchayatanas? The five forms. Aditya Ambikam Vishtum Gananatham Maheshwaram. Surya, Ambika, Devi, Vishnu, Ganesha and Shiva. these 5 forms should be worshipped. By karma brahmarpanam kurya, and whatever the anusthana that you do, you should do it as a submission to this Bhagavan. Because that Bhagavan is Sarvadeva Maya Paraha. The single Paramatma is of this nature, he is the same person, he is present in all these forms. A person, supposing he is capable of directly meditating on the Paramatma, tan nididhyasa shaktasya sarvabhuta majasya cha sarvabhutatmanashchaiva sarvam vyapaka chetasaha shuddha advaitatmanaha tasya na bahir pujanam viduhu. So when will you attain that state when you don't need to perform all these pujas, when you are able to directly meditate on the Sarveshwara, when you yourself become Sarva Vyapaka? This is not something that is very easy. You, like it is said about Shuka Brahma. That state, if you attain, if your mind has become all encompassing, we can superficially say by words, but this is not easy to actually experience or to attain. Only a person who has attained such a state does not need to perform the physical puja. न कर्म लिप्यते तस्मिन् ज्ञानवन्यात्मके अद्वये देहादि ऐक्य विशेषेण देहिनो ग्रहणं विधम्. Only when by that jnana, by which the dehi, whoever is living within the deha, he is identified to be none other than the single consciousness is present in both in the form of the dehi and also in the form of the deha. Dehadi aikya vishesha. Normally we perceive that dehi is inside and he is living within the body and the body is separate. But the actual Paramarthika Drishti will make it so that dehi, deha, all these differences do not exist and only that single Vastu consciousness exists. And Jnana Bandhyatmake, the fire that is Jnana, it is said that all these Jnana, this Sarva Karmani Bhasmasat Kurute Tatha, all the Sanchita Karmas, they will become Bhasma. They will become entirely burned away by the Jnanagni, and any further karma will not come and attach to this person who has attained that jnana. Na karma lipyate tasmin. Only the prarabdha karma, which has already started to give fruit, it will be acting for that jivan mukta. But praninam tad avidyotham dhavat karma vidhyatpave. But so long as you have not attained this state, you have the avidya, then you have to do the karmanushthanas. This is something that is very clearly said in our shastras. Just like Vedanta is enough, Jnana is enough, that is not the shastrartha. You have to perform the karmanushthanas if you want to actually get that Jnana. Because the Jnana, it is not possible for you to attain by your own samarthya. Kamya karmani santyajya nitya karma samacharet nityena karmana driptah parameshav prayachati advaita jnanam amalam. That jnana has to come by the anugraha of Parameshwara. When will he do that anugraha? When you stop doing the kamya karmas. Normal state, it is not forbidden to do kamya karmas. For a person who is living in this world and is still interested in all the worldly activities, they can definitely do kamya karma. That is not wrong. But if you want moksha, then you will stop hankering after all these worldly pleasures or doing something to achieve those worldly pleasures. Then you will do only what is definitely enjoined to you to be definitely performed. That is called as nitya karma. Nitya karma samacharet. Only by performing that nitya karma, Parameshwara will become happy and he will give you the Advaita Jnana. Tena mukto bhavet naraha. Very, very clear statement here. Tena mukto bhavet naraha. Iha mutra, but whoever has attained that Jivan Mukti, Iha amutra eka rupatvat. These people who have not attained Jivan Mukti after this body, they will definitely go to some other body and further progress. But a person who has attained the Jivan Mukti, there is no here or there for that Jnani. Rādhanā karma sankshaya. Once the prarabdha karma has stopped, is over, deha tyage vimukti syad iti Veda Vido viduhu. That after this physical body, the prarabdha karma is over, after it falls, then there is the videha mukti, is what is remaining. He has to go nowhere in the wherever he exists. They, in the same place, actually, here, there is actually false as far the Paramarthika state is concerned. So, as he is, he will attain moksha, videha mukti. That is the Paramartha Siddhanta. And such a person who is a Jivan Mukta, Advaita Nirato Yatra, Sadesha Punyavarthanaha, Tat Darshana Parayetu, Te Muktasur Nasamshayaha. A person who is an Advaita Jnana, wherever the place that a person is in a physical body, the place itself is very, very sacred, and whoever goes to attain get the darshan of that person, they will by also Kalakramena over course of time, they will attain that jnana, they will attain that Ishwara Anugraha, and they will attain mukti. And because of this, one should not do ninda of this Advaita Siddhanta. It is what is said, because the Advaita Siddhanta is only coming to do good for you. And if you do ninda of somebody who is doing good for you, then how is it? The Advaita Shruti is the Mata who is coming to teach you that which is good for you. So you should not do the ninda of Shruti Mata and the Advaita Siddhanta is what the verse says. And after this, further on sections will talk about the Sannyasa Grahana of Bhagavatpāda and so on. That we will see in a later on section. Jai Jai Shankara, Hara Hara Shankara, Sarvavyapaka Chaitanya Rupena Adyapi Tishtati, Seva Shankaracharyo Guru Mukti Pradasana. Hara Hara Shankara, Jai Jai Shankara.